Yeah. So Barbie is the latest film from Greta Gerwig, and as you can imagine, it's based on, well, Barbie. We follow, well, Barbie and Ken, portrayed by Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. In Barbie Land, all the Barbies and Kens are living a seemingly perfect life where everything goes smoothly and very well every single day until one particular day when Barbie starts to have these very deep thoughts, and as a result, she and Ken go into the real life to see what is going on amongst other things that are going on. Alrighty guys, so let's get into Barbie.
Excellent!
Despite what I think about this movie, there were actually quite a few things that I enjoyed about Barbie. Margot Robbie I thought was great in the film, and her character arc goes into places that I genuinely was not expecting, in much deeper places than I thought. When I found out that Margot Robbie was cast as Barbie, I just thought, yeah, Margot Robbie is actually a pretty perfect casting choice. Also, American Fur I thought was great in the film as well. Ryan Gosling has a couple of funny lines that had me chuckling. Kate McKinnon has one line in this movie that actually had me laughing pretty hard. Also, Michael Cera as Alan, I thought he had a couple of pretty funny moments. Simu Liu and Ryan Gosling easily have the best in the entire film. It's this really entertaining musical number that I couldn't get enough of, and this was easily my favorite scene in the entire film. The opening 30 minutes of Barbie, I actually thought were very intriguing. They were interesting. Just the way that Greta Gerwig set up this world, I was like, okay, this is actually pretty cool. There's a particular thing that Greta Gerwig does with one story, and had they gone into a certain direction, I feel like that the film could have been loads better. Barbie is a visually dazzling film. I mean, the colors pop out like candy, especially when you see the first opening 30 minutes of Barbie. There are so many shots where it's just going like, wow. I'll not be surprised if it not only gets nominated for Best Cinematography, but also Best Production Design. Just what a visually beautiful movie to look at.
Well, that's just fucking great!
I wasn't really looking forward to this movie. I wasn't. If you saw my review of Lady Bird back in 2017, you all know that I love that film. But Little Women was a movie that I couldn't get into, and in fact, I found that movie kind of overrated. When I saw the trailer for Barbie, I felt the exact same way before I saw this movie. I go in those with an open mind thinking, you know what? While the trailer may not look great, I just feel like it's not for me. Also go to it because, you know what? Hey, who knows? It might be a movie that surprises me and I could walk out saying, hey, it's one of my favorite films there. It's one of my biggest surprises of the year. Well, guys, I have to be honest with y'all when I say this. I wasn't a fan of Barbie. If you guys have seen the cast, Barbie has a stacked cast. I mean, it has a stacked cast. That is Margot Robbie. This movie also has Ryan Gosling, Simu Liu, American Fur, Issa Rae, Alexander Shipp. I mean, that's just to mention one of the many cast members. Also, Will Ferrell's in the movie too. Believe me, this movie has a stacked cast. And unfortunately, there's a lot of characters in this movie that are so underdeveloped and so underused, it is not even funny. When I saw that Simu, I couldn't say him for I couldn't say Simu Liu. I am so sorry. When I saw that Simu Liu was in this movie, I got so excited because I loved him in Shang-Chi. Simu Liu is so underused, it's not even funny, and there is a particular point in this movie where it felt like there was gonna be this kind of like rivalry between him and Ryan Gosling's Ken, and they don't really do anything with it whatsoever. Even though I love Michael Cera as Alan, he is barely in the film. Kate McKinnon, barely in the film. Alexander Shipp, barely in the film. Will Ferrell's in this movie, and legitimately wasn't a fan of his character. I cannot believe I'm about to say this because I usually love this actor, but one of my biggest negatives about this movie was Ryan Gosling as Ken. Not only did he kind of annoy me, but he was just a douche in this movie. You guys know how much I love Ryan Gosling. In fact, I think Ryan Gosling is such a brilliant actor, but him in this movie, he just kind of annoyed me. One of my biggest issues with Barbie is the storytelling. The storytelling of Barbie, I just thought was just all over the place. It just felt like that Barbie, in terms of telling a story, it felt like it was a movie they didn't know what it wanted to be, and not only in terms of storytelling, but in terms of tone-wise as well. As soon as we go into the real world, Greta Gerwig just does something in this movie into which, where I thought Barbie was originally going to go at first was that I thought that Barbie was going to be this central story about a mother and a daughter, with Barbie being, let's just say, the catalyst. And if that stayed in that pocket, I thought that Barbie could have been a very great film about mothers and daughters with a great message in her at the same time. But at the same time, not only does she introduce that plot, there's also a plot about the Mattel board, which goes to this goofy, cartoonish tone. And then, as y'all can imagine, and before I continue on, I just want to preface this, I had heard many things with this movie being heavy-handed, essentially a fight the patriarchy type of film with that type of message. And here's what I can say. Does this movie have that? It does. I cannot deny that it has that. But here's the thing. I had heard from many people that it was very heavy-handed, but I didn't feel it was as heavy-handed as some others thought. But is it in there? Absolutely. There are definitely a couple of times where it starts to hammer that message, and I was just going like, okay, let's just move it on. But was the point where it was like Black Christmas 2019 heavy-handed? Absolutely not. It's trying to juggle and weave together the mother-daughter story, Barbie having this existential crisis, the Mattel thing, Ken's thing with patriarchy. I can totally see what Greta Gerwig and Nolan Baumbach were trying to do with this movie and trying to weave together, but everything was juggling together, and not to mention all these tones clashing together made for this uneven, overstuffed movie that just didn't seem like it wanted to be what it wanted it to be. Even though the movie is a little less than 2 hours, there was a point where, holy crap, it felt so much longer, to the point where I actually looked at my watch to see what time it was. There are things that they do with the film's ending that I wasn't particularly a big fan of whatsoever, of how Barbie went into the film's ending, and I just went, interesting.
And here we go.
So overall, it looks like that I'm in the minority because I unfortunately was not a fan of Barbie. Barbie starts off interestingly and has some good ideas. Margot Robbie is fantastic and it's visually stunning. But as the film goes along, the overall execution and the clashing of tones just did not work for me. I unfortunately found Barbie to be an overrated film. All in all, I'm gonna give Barbie a 2 out of 5. It just didn't work for me. But hey, if you enjoy it out there, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you loved it, but just for me personally, it just did not work for me. So comment down below and let me know. Have you guys seen Barbie? What did you all think of it? Let me know below. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm also on Twitch. So if you guys want to follow me on all those social media platforms, all the links and the usernames are in the description below. I hope you all enjoyed my review of Barbie. If so, please hit that like button, also subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell for my latest review goes live. If you guys want to see my previous 2 reviews, please click on the right there or right there. And of course, if my next review or video goes live, I will see you all next time.